China under fire. A nation. Swallowed by catastrophic weather, social turmoil, and veiled truths. Join us for today's gripping special report, where we plunge into the turbulent chaos enveloping China as it battles an unparalleled crisis. From asphalt streets liquefying in Guangzhou's heat to bizarre summer blizzards blanketing Gansu. From electric cars bursting into flames under searing temperatures to desperate pleas for help erased from social media. The nation is caught in a maelstrom of natural calamities, societal upheaval, and cover-ups orchestrated by the Chinese Communist Party (CCP). In ancient Chinese philosophy, such extreme weather signals more than mere natural events. It's a harbinger of cosmic disorder, a foreboding sign of a regime on the edge of collapse. Today we peel back the layers of deception to reveal the stark reality of devastating weather and the profound suffering endured by the Chinese people. Hit like, subscribe, and follow along as we expose the truth behind this harrowing ordeal. China ablaze in an unrelenting heat wave. China is engulfed by a ferocious heat wave, with temperatures in numerous regions soaring past 40 degrees, reaching a blistering 43 degrees in Sichuan and Hunan. In Weihai City, Shandong Province, a record-shattering 42.4 degrees C on July 5 left festival attendees collapsing in droves from heat stroke as ambulances sped through the streets. Fire crews sprayed water to cool the masses, but the heat pressed on mercilessly. In Guangxi, asphalt roads splintered and warped, some sections erupting from thermal expansion resembling a moonscape. A viral Douyin clip captured a man cooking an egg on the pavement using only the sun's rays. He set a cast iron skillet on the concrete, added oil, cracked an egg, and in minutes it was perfectly cooked. Ground temperatures in Hunan soared to an astonishing 74.1 degrees C on June 24th, hot enough to fry an ant in 3 seconds, as a local paper vividly described. The heatwave's impact goes beyond curious stunts. A chilling YouTube video showed an electric vehicle in Shenzhen igniting spontaneously in 38 degrees C heat. Its lithium-ion battery, overwhelmed by the temperature, exploded in the middle of a street, sparking panic among onlookers. This was no one-off event. At least 3 electric vehicle explosions were reported in Guangdong in July, fueling fears about the safety of technology in extreme conditions. Driving electric cars feels like risking a bomb, one driver posted on WeChat before the message was promptly scrubbed. Lethal heat and crippling debt. China's summer of anguish. A brutal heat wave is ravaging China, transforming summer into a deadly inferno that claims lives and drives millions into a vortex of suffocating debt. Temperatures in many areas have climbed beyond 40 degrees C, with road surfaces burning at over 60 degrees C, causing people to collapse in public. In Changsha, Hunan Province, the 120 emergency hotline sent ambulances 105 times in a single week to address heat stroke cases, with 5 critically ill patients rushed to the ICU at the Hospital of Traditional Chinese Medicine. In Shenzhen, 122 individuals sought urgent care for heat stroke over 30 days, 9 of whom hovered near death, mostly construction workers and outdoor laborers. Doctors cautioned that if body temperature isn't reduced within 6 hours, the risk of multi-organ failure surges to 83%, with a mortality rate as high as 70%. For every 0.5 degrees C rise in body temperature, the risk of death triples, disproportionately affecting young and middle-aged adults. The heat doesn't merely kill it, lays bare devastating tragedies. At Nanchang University in Yantai, students suffered in dormitories without air conditioning, reliant on fans that merely circulated hot air. One student passed out during class, and a dormitory manager beloved for tending to stray cats succumbed to heat stroke. Furious students laid flowers in tribute and protested for accountability, but the university pointed fingers at an outsourced contractor who denied any fault. The school's budget is 29.7 billion yuan, yet they can't afford a single air conditioner, an incensed student posted on X before their account was locked. In Linyi, Shandong, whispers of hundreds of heat-related deaths spread, with crematoriums, overwhelmed, handling over 100 bodies in days. A Hubei resident revealed the crematorium near my home processed 160 bodies in 48 hours, with a waiting list reaching number 90 by noon. Netizens accused authorities of falsifying weather data, reporting temperatures at 38 to 39 degrees when the reality felt like a furnace. A Hunan resident raged. They claim 38 degrees C, but the streets are easily over 50 degrees. The debt crisis darkens this bleak scenario. Statistics show 920 million Chinese are drowning in debt, with 450 million unable to repay. A 37-year-old single mother in Tangshan shared, "I owe 1.8 million yuan after a failed business. My bank account is frozen, and I borrow from neighbors to keep the lights on. Debt has paralyzed my life." Otto. A 25-year-old mourned, "I'm 400,000 yuan in debt for backing my father's loan. My monthly salary disappears instantly. I can't afford decent food or clothes, but the debt keeps crushing me." In Yunnan, a young woman rode a motorcycle for 7 hours in 40 degrees heat to find her abandoned dog suffering severe second-degree burns. Netizens demand transparency, sharing heart-wrenching tales of loss and despair. The heat wave and debt crisis are choking hope, leaving China mired in sorrow and uncertainty. Water and power crisis. Sichuan and Yunnan, shrouded in darkness. The heat wave has unleashed a twin crisis of water and power shortages. Sichuan and Yunnan, China's primary hydropower centers, are struggling with parched rivers and lakes. Sichuan, which produces over 20% of the nation's hydropower, and Yunnan, home to 6 of China's 10 largest hydropower plants, are barely functioning, as water levels have dropped 60% from last year. The Baihetan Dam, the world's largest, is nearly incapacitated. Yunnan's government has urged residents to limit bathing to 3 or 4 times a month to save water, igniting public fury. "They're forcing us to live like it's wartime, but they created this mess," a Shenzhen resident complained, where homes cost 8 to 10 million yuan per square meter. Yet power outages lasting over 6 hours in 36 degrees C heat have left people desperate. One resident recalled, "I poured water on the ground, and it vanished in 3 seconds." In Guangxi, a once-in-a-millennium drought has left 83,000 people without drinking water, forcing reliance on polluted river water. Fire trucks have been dispatched to water trees, but as one resident lamented, "It's a fleeting solution. We're dying of thirst." Twin catastrophes. From heat waves to July. Snow. Beyond the scorching heat, China is reeling from strange weather anomalies. In Gansu, a July snowstorm buried grasslands in snow up to half a car wheel's height. Yesterday we were sweltering. Today our tents are snowed under, and a calf froze to death a herder shared. In Xinjiang, sandstorms and tornadoes reduced highway visibility to nothing, toppling motorcycles with ferocious winds. In Beijing, level 13 gusts, the strongest in a decade, ripped down billboards, uprooted over 200 trees, and left one dog's face comically distorted like a seal's, as a netizen quipped. In Guizhou, egg-sized hailstones smashed roofs and crops, leaving farmers in despair. "Our entire harvest is destroyed," one said. In Jiangsu, oddly shaped hail, resembling coronaviruses, shattered car windshields and caused injuries. These events recall the ancient story of Dao, whose unjust execution brought snow in June, signaling cosmic unrest. According to the I Ching, July snow foretells great calamity, suggesting turmoil in leadership and society. "The skies are furious," an ex-user wrote before their post was erased. Agricultural ruin. Crops and livestock obliterated. The heat and disasters have decimated Chinese agriculture. In Guangxi, lotus carp in rice paddies perished en masse due to overheated water, while rice wilted and rotted. A Sichuan pig farm lost 5,000 pigs when its ventilation system failed during a blackout, with losses exceeding 10 million yuan. In Jiangxi, floods turned fields into lakes, with damages estimated at 10 billion yuan, impacting 290,000 people. A Guizhou guava farmer wept. Hail destroyed our crops. We're left with nothing. Xi Jinping's deforestation for rice policy has exacerbated the crisis. Intended to secure food supplies amid potential Taiwan Strait tensions, the policy forces forest clearing for farming on sloped land, causing severe erosion and flooding. In some areas, farmers plant rice on barren soil to report compliance, only to abandon the crops to die. They make us do senseless work, ruining both the land and our livelihoods. A Yunnan farmer raged. Social upheaval. A surge of defiance erupts. The heat and disasters have sparked widespread unrest. At Yantai University, students launched an air conditioning uprising displaying banners that read, "Where's our tuition money? We need air conditioners to survive." At Jingzhou Technical College, a student's heat stroke death triggered parental protests for compensation, but the school shifted blame. In Guangzhou, residents accused authorities of worsening floods by releasing dam water without notice. "They opened the dam and flooded our homes without warning," one furious resident said. The story of Brother 800 in Hunan intensified tensions. Named for an 800 yuan traffic fine, the man live-streamed his resistance after a police beating condemning systemic injustice. His video went viral before being censored, igniting the 800 movement as a symbol of public outrage at the CCP's failures from disaster mismanagement to stifling dissent. CCP suppression truths, buried under scrutiny. The CCP has rushed to control the narrative with relentless censorship. Posts about deaths, damages, or unrest on WeChat and Douyin vanish instantly. They drag bodies from the mud, but the news stays silent, a Guizhou resident whispered on X. Vice Premier Jiang Guoqing, assigned to disaster response, visited industrial zones instead of flood-stricken areas. "They're too preoccupied with power struggles to save lives," commentator Li Ling told The Times. Political tensions are simmering. Rumors of Xi Jinping's faltering control abound, with Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Zhang Yuqia, reportedly consolidating power, challenging Xi. The mysterious death of former Premier Li Keqiang in 2023 lingers as a dark mark, with murmurs of foul play. Meanwhile, the crisis of missing persons 1 million annually, including 200,000 children, fuels suspicions of organ harvesting. Not a fly escapes their cameras yet, thousands disappear, a netizen fumed. The U.S. House's H.R. 1540 bill targeting organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners has amplified global concerns. China on the edge of chaos. China faces a devastating convergence. Blistering heat, unending disasters, water and power shortages, ruined agriculture, and surging social unrest. From exploding electric vehicles in Shenzhen to July snow in Gansu, from sham fields planted to satisfy deforestation policies to silenced cries for help, the nation is descending into turmoil. The CCP may suppress the truth, but it cannot hide the heavens' fury or the people's rage. Is this a sign of a regime's downfall? Share this story, demand answers, and join us in exposing China's concealed crisis. Concealed crisis. Concealed